What is going on, Social Share Club? I'm your host, Travis, and I've just got to say, this next guest is one of my favorite people. We have some of the best conversations. Mr. Rob Z, Rob Z Radio. Uh, he talks with so many amazing people and gets some of the best perspectives. Um, that are just out there. So hold on to your chairs, to your drink, because we are getting ready to pop off here. But before we get started, here's a little note from our sponsors. So, American Automotive Solutions. If you need your car detailed, ceramic coated, you got a truck, you need a bed liner on it, head on over to AmericanAutomotiveSolutions.net and schedule an appointment with Mike. Tell him that Travis sent you. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. If you are a business and you want to get a foothold on how am I actually doing in the scheme of digital media, like where is my marketing working, is my social media, my website, and are people finding me? Well, you need to head over to Trav Media, trav.media, so it's not .com, it's .media, and click on Solutions, and then select Brand Score Report. Enter your Brand Score Report information, contact me, and we will set up a meeting to review your digital footprint. Also, one of my pet projects is On Air, the audio social media platform. I've just started um, building out the prototype. Would love your feedback. Head on over to onair.today and register to become a app tester. So with that being said, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my good friend and uh, confidant and whatever else you want to call it, Mr. Rob Z. How you doing, Rob?
Good. How are you doing, sir? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. This is such short notice, and you hop in and bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. We're already off to the races with some amazing conversations. Um, we called this session, to chase your dreams, and you really are the epitome of chasing your dream, because you've been
Wow.
at this for quite some time in the media space, and just continue to build your brand, build your reputation. So, kudos to you, man. I'm very very, first off, very excited to have you, and just excited for the people to you know to jam out on this session. So
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and we always do have really good conversations. I'm really glad that you reached out to me, and I'm always happy to do stuff like this. And I feel the platform that you're building is really cool, and we really need stuff like this right now, which is kind of like where I'm at right now. Also, is you know we can have our businesses and we can be trying to make money, but when it comes down to it, really you got to be helping people and serving people and adding to positive conversation and elevating everybody's vibration on some level. And that's kind of where I've been at over the past, especially over the past year. The past year has been tough for a lot of people. It's been really tough for me personally and professionally. And it's helped me to realign like what I'm doing and where I'm at and what I'm going after. Because sometimes I think, I know for myself personally, I get caught in the weeds of what I'm doing instead of looking at the big picture of like, what am I actually trying to do? Like if I look at day-to-day stuff, yeah, it's like I'm trying to make some money and survive and grow a little bit. When I look at the big picture, it's like, man, I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to be personally satisfied with what I'm doing professionally, but also on like a spiritual level. I want to be satisfied and know that I'm adding to positivity and not just adding to uh, you know, income or something like that. I don't know if that all made sense, but it made sense to me.
So what I heard is, you want to. There's so much out there, but we literally just talked about this. Like 90% of the content that's out there is um, it's it's junk.
Yeah.
It's just not good. It's not lifting people. It's not helping people move from a good mindset, or trying. It's not moving people from a good mindset to, or from a bad mindset to a good mindset.
Yeah, it's so fluffy. It's just like all fluff. It like doesn't actually have any substance to it. And I feel that way a lot about, like, because I do digital marketing, social media for companies and stuff. But I'm 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 so tired of even talking about that necessarily, because I like getting to the root of like what really is going to cause change, what really is going to change your life or change your business. Like what is the root cause of making things better and getting better, and that's like the whole personal development world, which I know is a very saturated world, but that's where the real root is, like working on yourself. Because I'm sure you know this, Travis, and I know this from having my own business now for coming up on 4 years, and then having my own platform for years before that, that if I'm not working on myself, then the business is not going to grow. It's going to die. Like if I'm not working on me and making myself a better person, and then also helping other people hopefully become better people through my own personal work, then all the other stuff is pretty much meaningless. That's where I've come to. So and I'm not knocking anybody who talks business or anything like that, because that's an important part of it. But I just there's something calling me to talk about things much more deep than that, than just talking about the business end of things, because that's just like on the surface. When you get beneath that, it's like, why are things the way they are? It's because of how people think and act, and how far off their dreams are from their actual reality, or how far their intentions are from what they're like. What are your intentions compared to what you're actually doing?
But
And
it's to me, it's like working out. If you don't flex those muscles, you start losing them, and
yeah,
you but you don't just work out to work out, right? You work out to get to be healthy.
yeah,
You work out to have a longer life, right? And same thing with business. You don't sit around and talking about how you want to um, how you want your business to be healthy. You work on your personal development, to then help others. So it's a mind shift that I had, that you had, and I love it. But you know, so you started out 4 years ago in your own business, but you've been at this. So where did you start off at, and like how did like you obviously just didn't jump into business. Um,
no, I started off at 10 years old doing a pretend radio show in my bedroom. I'd say that's where I really started. Like for some reason when I was a kid, I loved radio, and it was before the internet. I was born in 83, so we didn't get the internet until like 96, and even then it was very crude, right? So it wasn't, you couldn't really do much with it. um so I did like pretend radio shows in my bedroom. I wanted to be a radio DJ really bad, but if we would have had like podcasts back in 1993, I probably would have started the podcast.
yeah,
Or 93 or whatever, it doesn't matter what the years. So I started with that, and I always loved radio, and I just loved broadcasting, and I don't even know why. It's just what always kind of called to me. So I got into radio when I was 15, and got a full-time job in radio finally when I was 21. And I worked I did all kinds of stuff throughout my radio career, but mostly I hosted a night show for about 5 years. Then I hosted an afternoon show for 3 years. I became the program director and music director of the station that I was on, which was Hot 100, out of Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. And then I became the morning show host, I think when I turned 30, and I did that for about 3.5 years. And that really was, you know, the bulk of like the first part of my life was just broadcasting, just doing radio, and just I didn't know it then because I really didn't think I was very good at it. But I didn't know back then it was like a very important part of my life because I really learned how to. It really helped me to figure out how to get the thoughts that are in my head out of my mouth correctly, and to be more outspoken, and just I think there's a humongous skill, and obviously, like when they say that most people on average fear public speaking over they fearing dying. Like public speaking is more scary than death for a lot of people. To have the skill of being able to speak publicly, whether it's on the internet or on radio or in person, is an incredible skill that we all should really learn because it's incredibly valuable because you can really communicate and take yourself to different heights and put yourself in front of different people because you're able to actually communicate with them. It's such an important skill. Like it cannot be understated. So I think that was the first part of my life was like really learning that skill and learning how to do broadcasting. And then, yeah, then I jumped into, and I was building my social media platform. So I had like a Facebook page that had like 10,000 followers. And my Twitter has like 28,000 followers. And I was building those up, not realizing like that's where I was going to take my career, was like into social media, which was what like 4 years ago when I started learning about digital marketing and doing it for other companies and things like that. So that was the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to communicate with people in masses, um, it's it's fun, but it's also like you said, having that fear. Um, I don't know about you. I was a talkative kid. I could go and talk to anybody.
Oh, see, I wasn't. I was very shy and introverted, which I think is why I went into broadcasting.
Interesting. But being able to communicate properly
Mm.
was it was a misnomer for me. I just didn't so uh, did you have any special training, or were you just trial by fire?
No, man, I think it was just 20. Well, by the time I quit my radio job, it was like 18 years of like breaking the habit of being it was like 18 years of trying to push past like I guess there was a long period of time when I was in radio where I was not authentic. And my wife at one point in time told me, like, when you talk on the radio and you talk to me in person, it's two different people talking. It's like you're putting on this character. You need to figure out how to be your authentic self on the radio. And so once I started to like think about that and do that, that's when it really started to happen. Then I started to do my own podcast, and that really started to help. And I started to realize, like, how people start acting differently when you turn a camera on. Like if you're talking to somebody and then all of a sudden you turn the camera on or you start recording, that person acts differently. Like they just change. And I realized like that's what happens to almost everybody. So if you can get really good at, I think and that's why podcasting and vlogging is so big, is because hopefully you're authentically getting somebody for real the way they actually are. And that, I believe, is the goal. If you can authentically be yourself in front of a camera, and you can live that true version of yourself, that's so valuable for you. Number one, it helps you to figure out who you really are, but then to have other people also see that, because you can tell, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people can tell when somebody's being authentic or when somebody's not on camera. You can usually tell. At least maybe I can tell just because I pay attention to that sort of thing. But there's a truthfulness that comes through that is applicable to like every part of your life. So if you're selling or if you're just building a relationship with somebody, like a big problem I had in my past was that I wasn't authentically myself, and I would, I wasn't being my true self. So I didn't have great connections with people because I wasn't being true to who I was. And the closer I get to that version of myself, just the more everything clicks. And I think an easier way of a quicker way of getting there and finding out that true version of yourself is by doing a lot of video and a lot of audio, because you have to record yourself, and then if you're editing, you got to go back and like listen to yourself and be happy with what you said and the way you acted. And man, that's a really tough thing to do. Like I'm sure you know, and everybody that I've done a seminar or a workshop with on video or on social media, the hardest thing for them to do is like to watch themselves back on camera is like, it's like so cringy. And I still cringe at myself a lot of the times. It's like, man, it's such a hard thing to get used to. If you can get used to that, then it's like it's like you're actually looking at yourself and what you're actually like, not what you think you're like inside of your head.
So what was so we talked about clicks a little bit. So what was the click for you? You said you were more of an introvert growing up, and why did you even choose to go into radio if you're, or was it kind of like, finding your faults or finding the things that scare you, and then it kind of.
Yeah, I didn't think about that stuff back then. I just thought it was cool. I honestly don't. I was really into music, and I don't know. I just thought that it was cool. I've thought about that before. Like, why did I like radio? It was just like, I just liked it. Like, I don't really have a reason, but looking back on it now, I think it was because I was so shy and introverted, but I had a part of me, like the inside of me, that really wanted to express itself, but I didn't know how to do it. So I think it was just unconsciously a way for me to do that. That's what I'm guessing. And plus it's prepared me. So I'm a big believer in like everything's happening to you for a reason. So I think all those years of practice of being on the radio led me to, coming closer to what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, like what my purpose is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got a few irons in the fire as well. You said you talked about, doing social media, but you've got some other podcasts or, some other video shows that you've been putting out as well. What's your, what got you into that? How did that all come to fruition? And what is it? Right.
It's well, the podcasting thing started because I found that I was on the radio so much. When you're on the radio, you're talking like 1 minute at a time, and you kind of like have to talk about certain things. The podcasting was so exciting because I could talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. It's like, man, I have so many ideas and thoughts. I want to be able to express them. And then watching other podcasters, right? Like people that you really admire who've been doing it for a long time. It's like, boy, if they can do it, anybody can do this. It's just like, who's going to do it? Are you going to do it and keep doing it? Are you going to do it? You're going to stop? And then I really got big into Tony Robbins at somewhere along the line, among a ton of other people. But Tony Robbins' whole thing is like to serve. You have to serve people. You must, with what you're doing, it's got to be a service to others. And that concept just stuck in my head and still sticks to today. Like, am I carrying out my purpose on earth by serving other people and helping them? So when it was with social media, like I'm serving them and helping them hopefully increase their business or, improve their brand or get more revenue through social media. When it was radio, it was like I'm serving by entertaining somebody, hopefully making them laugh and giving them like an escape from their life while they're driving to work or whatever that is. And now I feel like I just want to be able to do that on a much more personal level and really have like I've gone through a lot. I didn't have a tough upbringing. I had a pretty easy upbringing, but I had a lot of pain through that upbringing. And I'm like, man, I've learned so much over my time. I want to be able to give other people that information and help them too. So that's like the next phase. I feel like it all is leading me towards being able to help people on a more personal level.
Yeah. So if people want to catch your podcast, your interviews, where would you send them?
So right now, I'm in the process of making a new podcast, which it's being created right now. I'm recording a bunch of episodes before I launch it. So whenever I launch it, I'll let you know about it, and we could talk more about it then. But I have Rob Z Radio right now, which is my podcast that's out there. And Rob Z Radio, I haven't released many episodes over the past year just because of other things going on. But there's hundreds of episodes on there. And then there's First Frontier Forward, which you could find that on Facebook. That's where the interviews are, or on YouTube. And First Frontier Forward is just finding people in the Southern Alleghenies through 6 counties who are doing really cool stuff, who either have a cool business or an organization, a nonprofit, whatever it might be, that's adding value to people's lives. And it's like, improving the quality of people's lives in the Southern Alleghenies. And that's what that platform is for. And both of the platforms really are just, I like to be able to, I feel like especially in our area, people need support, number one. People need encouragement. They also need to be highlighted, and to the news cycle sometimes is always just so negatively focused, and then there's a little bit of positive at the end of it. But I feel like the news doesn't have to be that way. It could be all positive news, because what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the positivity, that's what's going to grow. So why not just focus on positive things that are happening? And that's the concept behind First Frontier Forward. It's like, let's highlight businesses that are doing amazing things, and that'll be the platform. Like, it doesn't have to be all the negative stuff's already being covered. We can cover the positive stuff.
I love it. Now, in the past, you've done some leadership conferences. What does that look like now with, obviously there's some restrictions with gatherings and those types of things.
Yeah.
What does that look like for 2021?
This podcasting platform that I'm building, which is called Declaration of Dad, and it's for guys, it's for dads, obviously by the name, but it's really, I don't want it to be anybody who wants to grow. It's kind of for that, but the basis of the platform, like the podcast, is around that concept, but it's really going to be around mastermind groups, and it's going to be around like personal development mastermind groups online right now, because that's pretty much what we can do. I mean, I could probably still do small groups, but I'm going to start it online, just on Zoom, because that's the easiest place to do it. But that's lit. The conference that I did last February was a leadership conference around technology, around impact, and around leadership. But that event was kind of like a trial run. I wanted to practice, and I wanted to just to do something for our area that brought people together, that shared a bunch of great ideas and highlighted there's amazing people in our area. But this new platform, it's going to be, the goal is going to be to set up mastermind groups, and to have these groups be something that's like commonplace, where you can get on with a group of people, and maybe we're masterminding over a book or a concept, or we're just like throwing out problems or struggles that we're having right now in our lives, whether it's business or personal. And then we have a group of like-minded people who can all help solve those problems together, because that's where you get the best ideas from. In the Bible, it talks about where 2 or 3 are gathered, the Lord will be, the Spirit will be. And I think that's such a huge thing to think about, is like when you get 2 or 3 or more people together, and they're all vibrating at the same high frequency, and they're all sharing really good ideas, you start to get ideas that would not come to you by yourself. And I think that's the whole point of life, is to be able to get together with people who are open-minded, who are open to helping, and to being helped and helping others, and share those ideas, and get everybody on the same frequency, on the same level, and then we can all kind of improve together. So that's for 2021, that's where I'm headed. Hopefully that platform is launched. I'd like to have it up within a month, but we'll see. That's why I haven't said anything about it yet, because I'm still just like putting it all together.
We'll be sure to do a launch here in the Social Share Club as well for you, because
Cool, man.
Just having this conversation, having these types of conversations is just, I think it's imperative to growth. And
it's the only way, I think.
Yeah. So
especially when we're all getting, it seems like everybody's trying to be silenced right now, with the whole cancel culture concept, and a lot of people's ideas and thoughts are like not allowed to happen. And like, it's such a dangerous, slippery slope kind of thing. It's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
We should be able to express ourselves, and
having a positive flow of information and ideas.
Yeah. And be open to it. Like, even if you don't agree I love being able to hear something that I don't understand or I don't agree with, and then like I'll listen to somebody talk about it, and maybe sometimes I'll be like, wow, they actually changed my mind, or I understand a little bit more of where they're coming from, or I just appreciate the fact that other people think completely differently than I do. And that's just like so important. But we don't seem to be able to do it online anymore. Like, if you go on Twitter or something like that, it's like this war of ideas when you don't have to agree with people, but you can just let them be who they are. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just seems crazy.
Yeah, with that being said, I'll be setting up an email collection for for this group as well, to
For
make sure.
like-minded people who all think the same.
Yeah, right. In Social Share Club, we're here to support positive ideas and growth, in businesses and business leaders. We need um, we need business leaders in our life, and um, to me, that's really important. We don't have enough, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. We don't even have enough chiefs right now.
Yeah, man, that's the big thing is the leaders, and that's where I'm trying to do that for myself because I think it starts with you, right? Like I want to be able to be so confident in who I am and my abilities that I don't like. It's not that I'm trying to be a leader. I want to just be one by the way I live my life. I think that's how you define like in the Amish community. If somebody wants to be a leader or like the whatever the top dog in the Amish community, they're not allowed to be. It's the person that everybody votes in who is the most reliable or most trustworthy that gets that spot. That's how it should be. Like you like the lead by example kind of thing.
Yeah,
It just starts with like, those simple daily disciplines that you have to do to make yourself a better person.
right on, right on. I love it. I love every bit of it, man. With
Thanks,
that
man.
being said, we're at the top of the half hour here, and I greatly appreciate your time, and I'm sure where people want to find more of you. So where should we send them? If anyone wants to talk to you or check out more of your content, where should we send them?
Yeah, I would just go to Rob Z Radio on Facebook or on Instagram. I haven't posted a whole lot lately over the past month, but that's my main hub. Or First Frontier Forward on Facebook. You can find there also First Frontier Forward or Rob Z Radio, one of the two.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone that's watching this jam session with my good friend uh, Rob Z. And um, little note from our sponsors before we wrap up. If you haven't already, go check out American Automotive Solutions. Get your car detailed, get it ceramic coated, make it look nice and shiny like a bright little penny. Um, they will help you out. If you need help with your marketing, your media, head on over to trav.media and schedule a meeting with me. It'll be quick, it'll be fun, it'll be painless, I promise. And if you want to check out the app that I'm building, head on over to onair.today and sign up as an app tester. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for popping in, tuning in, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. I'll be going live again tomorrow morning with another good friend, Mr. Mike Jenkins of Team Force. So that'll be some just powerful information. So please invite more of your friends to come check us out. This is a private Facebook group, but we have great engagement. We have great people in here. So if you know somebody who wants to make a difference in the community, make a difference in their life, and maybe even just support businesses in general, send them on over to the Social Share Club Facebook group, and we're happy to have you. So that being said, hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye now.
Have a mindset of curiosity. And so there can be a lot of pressure to perform. It's like, I really want to make this dream happen.
There's an understanding of mental health and well-being that people don't really realize.
Exercise is the best medicine that there is.
You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe you can do it. You gotta push. You gotta want it.
Adding to positive conversation and elevating everybody's vibration on some level.
I should have done it sooner because you've taken so much burden off me. You've taken so much time that I've wasted off my plate.
You've got to take that leap of faith and step a little bit outside of your comfort zone.
What is going on, Social Share Club? Travis here, and I've got a special episode. But without further ado, grab the like button.
Invest in your company.